every which is the tendency to search for, interpret, favor, and recall information in a way that confirms one's pre-existing beliefs or hypotheses. This can drastically affect our decisions by limiting our perspective to only what aligns with our existing beliefs. For instance, when deciding which political candidate to support, individuals often seek information that aligns with their existing beliefs, ignoring evidence that contradicts them. This can lead to polarized views and decisions that may not fully account for all available information. The influence of emotions on everyday decisions. Emotions profoundly influence our decision-making processes, often in ways we may not consciously realize. While logic and reason play critical roles, our emotional states can override rational thought, leading to choices that may seem illogical in hindsight. This section explores various facets of how emotions affect our decisions, including the impact of mood, the role of emotional intelligence, and strategies for managing emotional influences. Cognitive biases and decision-making. Cognitive biases affect our decision-making processes in profound ways. These biases are systematic patterns of deviation from norm or rationality in judgment, wherein inferences about other people and situations may be drawn in an illogical fashion. One significant bias is the confirmation bias, which is the tendency to search for, interpret, favor, and recall information in a way that confirms one's pre-existing beliefs or hypotheses. This can drastically affect our decisions by limiting our perspective to only what aligns with our existing beliefs. For instance, when deciding which political candidate to support, individuals often seek information that aligns with their existing beliefs, ignoring evidence that contradicts them. This can lead to polarized views and decisions that may not fully account for all available information. The influence of emotions on everyday decisions. Emotions profoundly influence our decision-making processes, often in ways we may not consciously realize. While logic and reason play critical roles, our emotional states can override rational thought, leading to choices that may seem illogical in hindsight. This section explores various facets of how emotions affect our decisions, including the impact of mood, the role of emotional intelligence, and strategies for managing emotional influences. Managing emotional influences. Recognizing the impact of emotions on our decisions is the first step toward managing them effectively. Techniques such as mindfulness meditation can help individuals become more aware of their emotional states, reducing the likelihood of impulsive or purely emotional decisions. Furthermore, taking a moment to pause and reflect before making significant decisions can allow for a more balanced assessment that includes both emotional and rational considerations. Social influences on decision-making. An in-depth look. Social influences on decision-making are multifaceted, affecting us in both overt and subtle ways. These influences stem from our innate desire to fit in, be accepted, and align with what we perceive as the norms of our society or social circle. Understanding these influences provides insight into the complex interplay between individual autonomy and social conformity in the decision-making process. The power of social norms. Social norms are unwritten rules that dictate the behavior considered acceptable within a group or society. They significantly impact our decisions because we are naturally inclined to conform to these norms, to avoid social sanction, or to gain approval. For example, fashion trends are a direct reflection of social norms, influencing individual choices. People often choose their attire based on what is currently in style, even if it deviates from their personal preferences, to align with societal expectations and be perceived as fashionable. Influence of authority figures. Authority figures, whether they are parents, teachers, bosses, or public leaders, wield significant influence over our decisions. The principle of authority influence suggests that we are more likely to follow suggestions or orders from someone we view as an authority figure due to ingrained social hierarchies and the perceived expertise or power of these individuals. A classic example can be found in the workplace, where employees may conform to a decision endorsed by a superior, even if they harbor personal reservations, out of respect for the authority or fear of repercussions. The role of social proof. Social proof is a psychological phenomenon where people assume the actions of others in an attempt to reflect correct behavior for a given situation. This can significantly influence our decisions, especially under conditions of uncertainty. Restaurants strategically use social proof by displaying their awards, positive reviews, and crowded dining areas to entice potential customers. This signals to others that the restaurant is popular and trusted, influencing their decision to dine there based on the perceived validation from other customers. Peer pressure and conformity. Peer pressure is not just a challenge faced by adolescents. It is a powerful force that affects individuals at all stages of life. The desire to be accepted and valued by our peers can lead us to make decisions that align with the group's expectations, even if they conflict with our personal values or preferences. For instance, an individual may choose to participate in a risky activity, such as excessive spending on luxury items, to maintain status within a peer group that values material wealth as a symbol of success. Cultural influences. Cultural background shapes our values, beliefs, and behaviors, influencing our decision-making processes in profound ways. Cultural influences can dictate everything from the food we eat to the careers we pursue, based on the values and norms prevalent in our culture. For example, the decision to pursue higher education is heavily influenced by cultural expectations in many societies, where academic achievement is seen as a pathway to success and respect. Integrating social influences with the psychology of everyday decisions. Incorporating this detailed exploration of social influences into the broader context of everyday decision-making illuminates how deeply interwoven our social environment is with our individual choices. Recognizing the impact of social norms, authority, social proof, peer pressure, and cultural background helps us understand the complexities behind our seemingly personal decisions. It reveals that our choices are not made in isolation, but are the result of a dynamic interplay between our inner desires and the external social world. By examining these social factors in conjunction with cognitive biases, emotional influences, and environmental cues, we gain a holistic view of the decision-making process. This comprehensive approach allows us to better navigate our social world, making more informed and authentic choices that reflect both our personal values and the social contexts in which we operate. Environmental and contextual factors. Our environment and context play significant roles in shaping our decisions. The concept of choice architecture refers to the way in which choices can be presented to consumers and how the presentation influences the choice. Restaurants, for example, use this principle by placing certain items in prominent places on their menus to influence customers' order decisions. Another environmental factor is the default effect, where individuals are more likely to choose an option if it is presented as the default choice. Companies use this to encourage consumers to opt into programs by making them the default option, requiring an active choice to opt out. Improving decision-making understanding. These psychological underpinnings offers pathways to improve our decision-making processes. Techniques such as mindfulness meditation can enhance our awareness of the present moment, helping to mitigate the impact of emotional reactions on our decisions. Similarly, developing a practice of critical thinking can help counteract the influence of cognitive biases by encouraging us to question our assumptions and consider multiple perspectives before making a decision. Conclusion. The psychology behind everyday decisions is a rich and complex field that encompasses cognitive biases, emotional influences, social pressures, and environmental cues. By becoming more aware of these factors, we can strive to make more informed, rational, and beneficial decisions in our daily lives. Recognizing the intricate play of mind games behind our choices empowers us to navigate our decision-making processes more consciously and effectively. For more psychological insights and explorations into the human psyche, subscribe. Together, let's unveil the mysteries of the mind.